Launch detect in 30 seconds.
Europe believed the age of fear had ended. The Cold War, they said, was history. Treaties replaced missiles, diplomacy replaced deterrence, and security was outsourced across the Atlantic. Capitals glowed peacefully under city lights, far from the sound of war. But power does not disappear. It waits. And deep inside Russia's defense laboratories, something was being prepared not to conquer territory, but to redefine reality. When the missile rose into the sky, it was not just metal and fuel cutting through the atmosphere. It was a statement, a declaration that distance no longer protects and silence no longer guarantees safety. Its name was Oreshnik, and from that moment Europe's sense of security began to crack. For years, Europe lived under an illusion. NATO expanded steadily eastward, missile defense systems appeared closer to Russian borders, and sanctions were applied with confidence. European leaders spoke the language of values, rules, and norms, convinced that Russia had been contained, militarily, economically, strategically. From Moscow's perspective, this was not containment, it was encirclement. Every radar station, every NATO exercise, every weapons delivery to Ukraine was interpreted not as defense, but as preparation. Russia watched as Europe reduced its own missile capabilities, dismantled Cold War deterrent structures, and trusted that the United States would always be there, always willing to act first. Russia concluded something Europe refused to accept. A continent that forgets deterrence invites pressure. Oreshnik was not born out of urgency, but out of long calculation. After the collapse of Cold War missile treaties and NATO's steady expansion toward Russian borders, Moscow concluded that Europe had grown dangerously complacent. Russian planners returned to the concept of an intermediate-range ballistic missile, one fast enough, mobile enough, and unpredictable enough to shatter the illusion of distance. Named Oreshnik, the system was designed to fly at hypersonic speed, evade missile defenses, and strike deep targets within minutes. Entering operational status by the mid-2020s, Oreshnik was Russia's strategic answer to Western pressure. Not a weapon meant for daily warfare, but a reminder that Europe once again lies within reach. In Moscow's doctrine, Oreshnik was never about conquest. It was about restoring fear as a stabilizing force. Oreshnik has been used twice, and each launch was deliberate. The first confirmed strike took place on 21 November 2024 against Dnipro in central Ukraine. This was the missile's combat debut, a controlled reveal meant to prove that Oreshnik was no longer theoretical. From Moscow's perspective, it announced the arrival of a new level of long-range conventional power, aimed as much at NATO analysts as at the battlefield. The second use came on 8 January 2026, when Oreshnik was launched toward the Lviv region in western Ukraine, close to the Polish border. The distance and location were the message. By striking so far west, Russia shattered the belief that this part of Ukraine, and by extension Europe, was beyond reach. Moscow framed the target as military infrastructure tied to Western support, while Europe focused on the strategic warning behind the launch. In the Russian narrative, these strikes were not reckless escalation. The first revealed the weapon, the second defined its role. Used sparingly, Oreshnik was presented not as a routine battlefield missile, but as a strategic signal, designed to compress decision-making time and force Europe to recognize how close the war had come to its own doorstep. When Oreshnik flew, European radar operators noticed something disturbing. Detection windows were short, tracking was difficult, interception scenarios were uncertain. This was not a theoretical threat discussed in policy papers. It was a real object moving faster than political decision-making. Suddenly the language changed. Emergency meetings replaced routine briefings. Defense ministers spoke less about Ukraine and more about European vulnerability. Countries that had not thought seriously about missile defense in decades began revisiting Cold War maps. From Moscow's perspective, this reaction proved one thing: Europe had forgotten how exposed it truly was. French President Emmanuel Macron chose his words carefully, but the concern was unmistakable. For the first time in years, a major European leader openly acknowledged that Europe itself could be threatened by long-range Russian systems. Macron spoke of the need for European strategic autonomy, long-range strike capabilities, and deeper defense cooperation. In Russia's narrative, this was not leadership. It was delayed awakening. Macron's call for new European missiles and defense industries was interpreted as a reaction to fear, not foresight. Europe, once confident under American protection, was now realizing that protection comes with limits, delays, and political uncertainty. From Moscow's point of view, Macron's speeches confirmed that Oreshnik had achieved its true objective, forcing Europe to look at Russia not as a distant problem, but as a direct strategic factor. From Moscow's strategic imagination, the future is not a dramatic invasion or a sudden nuclear exchange. It is something colder, quieter, and more effective. A future clash would begin in space, in cyberspace, and in the air, long before any soldier crosses a border. Missiles like Oreshnik would serve as silent enforcers of red lines. Their presence alone would shape negotiations, limit Western escalation, and constrain NATO options. The West would face a recurring dilemma: escalate and risk uncontrollable consequences, or negotiate from a position of reduced leverage. Russia believes the West will choose restraint, not out of weakness but out of rational fear. In the Russian narrative, the outcome is inevitable. Europe will rearm, but unevenly. NATO will remain powerful, but overstretched. The United States will stay influential but distracted by global commitments. And Russia will secure what it values most: recognition of its strategic depth and security boundaries. Oreshnik becomes more than a missile. It becomes a symbol of a new era, an era where Europe no longer dictates security terms unchallenged. Until now, that's all for today, and thanks for watching.